This week on the podcast, we're going to fill in the blank a little bit here with Sean Lee. We're going to ask him some questions and let him take us wherever he wants to when it comes to filling in the blank with maybe a single word or an entire thought here on Retirement Elevated.
Let us help you reach your peak in retirement. It's time for Retirement Elevated with Sean Lee.
Hey everybody, welcome into the podcast. It's Retirement Elevated with Sean Lee and myself. Wrapping up the year. This is our last episode of the year before the holiday hits us. Just a few days from now, and then we'll be back in the new year. Back in 2024, which seems really, really weird to say. But that's what's going on here. What's going on with you, Sean? How you doing, buddy?
I can't believe it's the end of the year, man.
I know, right?
Gosh. It feels like just yesterday we were preparing for 2023, and then now it's gone.
I know. Yeah. At the time we're dropping this week, it'll be like 4 days before Christmas. So, just boom, boom, boom. You got your Christmas shopping all done at 4 days before Christmas?
No.
Dude, what are you doing?
No,
You always run around like a madman?
I'm almost done.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not too bad.
I'm almost done. I got to get a few extra things for my wife.
Okay, yeah. Isn't that the way it usually goes? I do the same thing. You and I were just talking before we started this. I'm taking her to the ballet in 2 nights or whatever, and that's part of her present. And I've already done a couple things like that, but I'm thinking, well, maybe I should get something else. It seems like we always do that, right?
Well, it's hard because she just, if there's anything that she needs or wants, we're
just gets it herself.
We're adults.
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
But I think, we talked about getting a new, real exciting stuff, like getting a new bed or getting a new stovetop for our kitchen.
Right, yeah. And that's got to be joint stuff anyway, right? So you can't really surprise. I mean, I guess you could surprise her, but she might not be as happy with that. Your choice is whether or not she got to pick, right? So
right.
Yeah, I hear you. It gets tougher as we get older, that's for sure. Well, let's have some fun. Let's wrap it up here with this final podcast of the year. Like I said, we're just going to do some fill in the blank. I got some financial statements for you, and you can use a single word, an entire thought. We can go wherever you want to go, and we can make jokes along the way as well. The best way to be sure that you do not run out of money in retirement is to blank.
Build a plan.
Yeah, right. That's kind of low-hanging fruit. Pretty easy.
Yeah. That one's easy. I mean, just have some clarity of how you're going to get your income out, what you're going to do, but have a clearly defined written plan that you can follow.
Yeah. I was going to say be Scrooge McDuck.
Slide on down that money hill.
Slide on down the money hill. Have a big giant pile of money and go that route. But yeah, I mean, have a strategy, right? And if you don't want to run out, which all of us, don't want that to happen, then have a plan, have a strategy, and understand how they're going to work together too, like how your Social Security is going to play with it. All that kind of stuff, so you can maximize your strategy. All right, that was pretty easy, but you get the idea.
And let's add to that. I mean,
sure,
there's having a plan, but having, when you look at building a plan, I'd rather be within a range, and so understand what the good bad markets are going to do to your plan, so you can stress test it out.
Okay.
Then have to be okay, I need to get 6% each and every year for my plan to work, because plans don't work linear like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And a lot of these will probably play together in this. So here you go. You can go any direction you want to go with this one. The stock market has the ability to piss you off,
break your heart. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's going to go up. It's going to go down. Right. It just depends on what day you look at it.
Yeah. Give you a minor heart attack, drive you crazy. Also, but if we want to be positive here, it also has the ability to keep you ahead of inflation.
Make you jump for joy.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to have it, right? I mean, I think the mindset of saying, well, I just got to get completely out of the market is not probably the right frame of mind either, because you do have to keep up with inflation. And as far as I know, it's one of the best ways to do that.
Right. I mean, the market, when used properly, can be a great tool, just like CDs or annuities or bonds or whatever. I mean,
right.
It's just the market is the most viewed area of finance. So when you start to look at what's going on in the economy, well, everybody looks at the stock market, and if the market's doing well, everybody's happy. If the market's doing poorly, everybody's upset. And so it's just a matter of tempering expectations and understanding, well, what's the market really going to do for me?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to go after growth, what's that going to look like? If I want dividends, what sort of investments do I need there?
Gotcha.
Because those do two separate two totally different things in a lot of cases.
Yeah. But if it has the ability to drive you crazy and make your chest thump, turn off the news. So
Oh, yeah.
do that for sure. All right. Let's see. If you should run the other way if a financial advisor tells you blank.
This one caught me off guard a little bit.
That's okay. I was going to say for me, like the one that drives me nuts is the don't worry, it'll come back. Like I think I would turn around and walk out because I can't stand that line, right? Because it's like, yes, I know that the market will turn eventually will come back, but I don't have that kind of time.
Right. Or make promises.
Yeah, same thing.
Guarantees,
Yeah.
right? We'll call it if an advisor gives you a guarantee their strategy is going to outperform or whatever. I don't know how they can do that.
Right.
Right. Like you could have a educated guess of how something's going to go on, but if an advisor is usually making guarantees about a certain thing, we'll call it market related, they have no clue.
Yeah, I'm heading out the door.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. All right. You wish that more people, Sean, understood blank.
I wish more people understood the time and commitment that it takes and to build a really good financial plan. And the reason that I say that is people will spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours planning a vacation.
Right.
But sitting down with a professional in a lot of cases is really difficult for them to commit to doing.
Very true. I mean, there's a lot of things in the financial services world that you could certainly go this route as well, right? But a couple of the core elements, I think, is probably, and that's probably one of them. Like you have got to have the time and commitment to this strategy to get some things done if you want to get to the goals that you want to get to, right? You can wing it, but you may not be as happy with the results as if you sit down and work through a strategy and a plan with a professional. And I think once people start to like do that and they kind of have that aha moment, they go, yeah, all right. And it'd be nice to be able to like take that, like I'm sure you see that, 100 times a week, and take that kind of aha moment and be able to like just give it to everybody. And it's like, oh yeah, I get it now. This is why we should do this. It'd make it a lot easier.
Well, and I hear all the time, I wish you would have done this sooner.
Right. Right.
Well, why didn't you?
Well, why didn't you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like what kept you from doing it sooner? What kept you from sitting down and speaking with a professional, whether it's, I think I'm too young or I don't have enough money or this or that. None of that stuff matters. Like just nobody cares more about your money than you do. So take the time, sit down and speak with somebody if that's what you feel you need and want to do.
Yeah, very true. I said this earlier. I was talking to somebody on this, and I was running through stuff, and I just my funny one is I wish more people understood that chocolate milk does not come from brown cows. And sadly enough, they go, you know what? I just saw a study on that. They just did some story on that where it's like 22% or something like that of people actually think that that's true. And it's like, oh my gosh, we're in bad shape.
Over Christmas time, my kids just think that like pink milk comes from our elf.
But they're kids. That's what, right? I think I'm sure along the way someone told them that their parents told them that chocolate milk comes from brown cows just for fun, right? But maybe never bothered to go back and let them know later on that wasn't true. So I don't know. Weird. The world's funny, man. Okay. Number 5. Let's see here. When somebody comes to visit you for the first time, they're most likely to be worried about blank.
We get this question a lot. They're most likely to be worried about if they've saved enough for us to even help them.
Yeah.
And
do I have enough? I don't think I can ever retire, kind of thing, right?
Right. And we tell people all the time, like, hey, we don't have account minimums. Like, if we can help you, we're going to help you. That's just I know some firms out there only meet with people with certain asset levels or whatever it may be, but that's just not who we are. And if we can help, we're going to help. But that's a big question a lot of people have is, do I have enough to make it even worth meeting with an advisor? Or do I have enough to retire?
Okay.
And
yeah.
in a lot of cases, by going through the process, people find out that they're better off than they need to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, more times than not. I mean, I talk to hundreds of advisors all across the country all the time, and they always say the same thing. They say more people are pleasantly surprised than are shocked or that are saddened, right? I mean, not everybody's going to walk in the door and be in great shape, let's be honest, right? But at the same time, more people than They realize, like many people come in automatically doing that dentist thing where, oh man, he's going to tell me he's got to pull some tooth or something like that. Or I got to have a cavity filled or a root canal or something. That's that same kind of mindset. And then you're like, no, it's not that bad. We can just do a little cleaning or a little, a little like this, that, or the other. We'll fix it. I think that same thing, kind of thing happens financially too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to be, Sean's going to tell me my world's crumbling. And then you find it, you tell them all the stuff and they're like, oh, not so bad after all. So, but how do you do that? You got to come in and find out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. The most common, last one here, we'll wrap it up. The most common mistake that you see a retiree or a pre-retiree making is, and you can't use the same one you've already used because it's kind of similar. Give me a different one. What's the most common mistake that you see across the board, whether you're already retired or getting close to retirement?
Not putting a focus into tax planning.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. I was looking for taxes.
That's a common mistake. It's
Yeah.
not. Tax planning is kind of pushed aside in a lot of cases where it can make a dramatic impact on somebody's plan, both positively and negatively.
Yeah, we were just talking about that same thing, right? People not sure what they have while also being tax efficient, right? Can also make or break it.
Yeah, or withdrawing too early, too late, at the wrong time. Not having different tax buckets.
Yeah.
Not looking at Roth conversions or how you incorporate Social Security into all this. Not having a tax strategy is one of the biggest mistakes by far that we see.
Nice. All right, that's what I was looking for. I felt like what was the guy that used to be on the original, like the way back on the Family Feud? Richard Dawson. I felt like show me taxes. Good stuff, my friend. All right, well, good. There you go. Thanks for hanging out, playing Fill in the Blank with me this week. And also, Merry Christmas to you, Sean, and all the listeners out there that we have that check out the podcast. We certainly appreciate you, and we hope you have a great holiday.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, don't forget to subscribe to us. That way you can catch new episodes in the coming year. And if you need some help, as always, make sure you reach out to Sean and his team before you take any action on something you hear on really any show of any kind, right? See how it's going to fit your unique situation. We can talk in these generalities that, taxes is the most common mistake, but how does that, play into your particular strategy? You don't know if you just kind of wing it. So come in for a strategy and a conversation and a consultation. And don't forget to share the podcast with others that might benefit from it. Find all the information at elevatemyretirement.com. That's elevatemyretirement.com. Sean, have a great holiday.
Hey, thanks. You do the same.
We'll see you next time here on the podcast with Sean Lee.
Investment advisory services offered through Elevated Capital Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.